Hey guys, this is Raven with the Regal Reptile, and I have some bad news. A couple of days ago, my hang on the back aquarium filter just died, and I'm a little sad. But I took the opportunity to get something even better. I decided to upgrade to this Fluval canister filter. So we're gonna unbox this big baby. So should have a lot of things in it, like this. I'm sure this is useful. Just kidding. I'm gonna stand on the chair. All right. Ooh. So this is your hoses. And they are your intake and your outtake hoses. There's your intake and your outtake. And then, because I'm short, here's the unit itself. Ooh. Instruction manual. And a free coupon. Yes, the box. All right. So, inside this filter, what it's going to do is, on these two intakes, or these two things here, you put your hoses. One of them goes on one side of your tank, over there, and one of them, the intake will go on this side, and the water flow will go on this side, or the power head will go on this side. And the difference between this and a hang-on back filter, there's a bunch of differences, but we'll go ahead and talk about one that might improve your water quality, is while a hang-on back filter will hang on the back and has the flow here, and it has the intake right here. So it takes in water and then it spits it out in this little cycle right here in your big tank. So it might cycle some of the water on this side of the tank, but for the most part it just cycles water near itself, and that's good for some tanks. What this tank does, what this filter does, because you have your intake and your outtake tubes on opposite ends of the tank, is it is going to cycle your water all the way through your tank, which results in less dead spots. So now I'm going to show you what's actually inside this filter. Most filters come with a couple of different things. So let's go over those. In a hang on the back filter, that hangs on the back of your aquarium, you have your motor and an impeller that spins, which makes the water cycle through. You have your carbon or other chemical media, and then you have your biomedia, which is a bunch of little, actually you can see it right here. This is the biomedia from my other filter. I put it near the air stone bubbles so that it would stay oxygenated, so I'm hoping most of the bacteria is still alive. And what that bacteria does is it takes nasty stuff from your water, like ammonia and things, and it recycles that, and those bacteria use it for their own bodies, so it kind of helps clean your water. Super important that your tank is cycled that way with your bacteria. So these clamps, figure out how they work. Aha! Here we go. All right. So inside, I'll take this off. Right? Does this come off? Aha! Yes. All right. So this is gonna be your motor. Here you go. Your motor thing. There's a paper. All right. So this is the main part of your filter. This is the motor that's going to make your water circulate, and this is the stuff that I was talking to you about with the different filter media. Look how big this bucket is. All of this is part of your filter. So these are your sponges and brushes, and they are what is called mechanical filter media, and your water filters through it and gets a bunch of particles and dirt and stuff out of it. You got a rough one and a fine one. Pretty cool. Now, you're supposed to be able to get all this out with just one finger, but I don't see it. Oh, here you go. One. This is the other side, and it has 4 stacked sections. This, I believe, is carbon. You're going to take it out of the plastic bags, and you're going to put it in this little caddy here. In the second caddy, we have even more chemical filtration media. I don't know if these are both carbon or not. I'll have to see. And then these are your bacteria, little bacteria houses, your biological filter. So these things, they're porous. There's like a lot of little holes in it, kind of like a sponge. And the bacteria will grow and live inside of these little things. And then, here's our fine filter. Here's our fine filtration. So this stuff, this is good. There's that. The water goes right into this, and it gets rid of all the little particles. And then there's another one down here too that's a more rougher texture, and it gets rid of bigger particles. So, man, this is gonna really clear up the water like crazy. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna put all this back together, and we'll head to the sink. So we're here at the sink, and we are going to rinse out the following. We will rinse out these fine pads here. We will rinse out all of the carbon to get it going. And we're going to rinse out these guys. The reason I'm not going to rinse out the bacteria filter media is because I'm actually going to not use these. I'm going to use the bacteria filter media from my other filter because it is already full of beneficial bacteria and it is already cycled. So I'm going to go rinse these and then replace the beneficial bacteria from my filter into this new one. You just want to do a light rinse off. It doesn't need to be anything complicated. You're not trying to wash any water out. You probably want to do this once a month as well. Rinse all this stuff out. And you definitely want to get this stuff wet because it is what gets it going. And what this does is it helps keep your water nice and clear. I love activated carbon. But it only lasts about 4 months in your filter. So you want to make sure that if you like the way your water quality is with the activated carbon, you want to replace it. There's other filter media you can use, like things that, oh, you can hear it, listen. Yeah, all those bubbles, it's getting going. It's getting going real good. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to go replace that filter media, that biological filter media, and we're going to put the whole filter back together. And then we're going to talk about the motor a little more. And then we're going to set it up for the aquarium. And inside the motor, we have what is called an impeller. And this spins, and it's going to cause a current in your filter that will draw the water in. You can actually pull it out. It's held in there by a very strong magnet. And this is your impeller shaft. This thing, you can just pull it right out. Just like that. And in there is your motor, and that's what spins the impeller. So any filter will have an impeller and an impeller shaft. And what you want to do is, a lot of times, at least once a month, you want to take your impeller and your impeller shaft out and clean them very well, because you don't want anything to impede these blades from doing their job. You can even order replacement parts, like replacement impellers and replacement impeller shafts. They're not that expensive. So recommendation is that you replace these every year to just keep them nice, because you don't want this stuff will degrade, and you don't want it to do that. It'll mess up your filter. Not This is the heart of your filter. Okay, now this is that package stuff that came all wrapped up in plastic. And here is a list of everything that's in here and what it does. That's upside down. This is not. Ta-da. Okay, so what you have here is your intake tube, and it will attach to your tube here and suck water in through here. Super cool. This is your power head, and it's going to squirt water from your filter into your tank at a pretty high rate. This is your hose assembly, and it attaches the hoses to the lid over here. These two things allow your hoses to curve over your aquarium wall and into the aquarium. Here's a bunch of suction cups. And this is what I was looking for. This is going to go around here, and it keeps all the water from your filter and your aquarium from leaking all over your floor. It also has some lubricant on it, so it's slippery. Watertight seal. So here's something pretty special. Your hang on the back filter will hang on the back of your tank and be really large and bulky, and it might vibrate against your walls, and they're usually really loud. However, this guy is going to go under the tank. So we're going to put our hose assembly on. Just like that. Nice. Clamp it down so that it's nice and snug. And then we're going to get our hoses. We're actually going to put it under the aquarium. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with the hose. Because we only got one. We need two. I got so much junk under this aquarium. This is fish and pet supplies. This is a bucket. You should always have a bucket just in case you need to bail water or whatever. And behind here is my air stone. And right in front is going to be our nice filter, and it's underneath. It's right in the middle between the two pieces of aquarium. And so we're going to get our hoses. So we attach our hose just like this. Yeah. And we spin this, turn it really tight so that this is a watertight seal till it stops spinning. That is how you attach the hose. Alright, our hose is supposed to go 4 inches above the glass and be as straight of a line as possible. Okay, this hose will attach our intake valve, and we're going to put a suction cup on it, and we're going to use the clamp things to make the hose fit over the side of the aquarium, and I'll show you the finished product. And here we have it. I had to do some changing up of the rocks a little bit, but it's all hooked up. And then way up here we have our hose clamp, which is nice. And you do see this hose, but if you had a background on your aquarium, you wouldn't see that, obviously. And there's nothing on the back of the aquarium except the hose. Okay, so here's the entire setup. You have your intake over here. And over here you have your power head. It's going to squirt water for you. And the hoses, they come down all the way down here to the filter. And what you got to do now is you have to prime your filter. So you're going to use this little pump here. And it will pull water into the intake if you're strong. What you don't need is for your outtake valve over here to be underwater. You want that to be out of the water at first, when you first prime your pump. Yeah. And then after you've filled up your canister with water with the primer pump thing, then you can fill up your tank back to how full it was. So I've primed it, and this little valve here is how you open up the water through these two tubes. So I've already primed it. It's ready to go. Let's see what happens when we plug this in. Hopefully we will hear the trickling of water. Oh my goodness. I hear the trickling of water. And man, that is powerful. So if you want to change the flow, because that's bonkers, you can lift up on this. The instructions say halfway, but no higher than that. And that makes it a little more comparable. There you go. And then you want to use a python hose or something like this to fill up the rest of your tank with water. And there you have it. It will be a lot quieter once I fill it up with water. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like things like this, hit that like button. You can also subscribe to the channel to become part of the Regal family. And share this video if anyone wants to know how to know about these canister filters. We'll talk more about the differences between hang-on-the-back filters and canister filters in another video. Also, I strongly urge you to look up the specific canister filter you have and look up the manufacturer's tutorials and things like that. The only reason I knew how to do this quickly is because I watched a YouTube video from the manufacturer. I didn't cover, I might have missed something, so do not use this video as the only source of reference. Also, read your instruction manual. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. See y'all. Oh yeah, one more thing. Listen at how quiet it is. Okay, that's it, I promise.